This man died with a coin clenched between his teeth. As the coin fell from his mouth, it left clear indentations from his teeth, showing that he died consumed with intense hatred. It is said that when someone dies with a coin in their mouth, there are people who specifically come to collect the body. The organization also examines the depth of the bite marks on the coin to determine the level of hatred the deceased felt before their death. The deeper the bite marks, the more intense the anger, and this could decide whether revenge is carried out. Just 2 days ago, a group of monks arrived under the moonlight to discuss Buddhist teachings at a nunnery. However, the old nun brought along a group of performers, dressed in bright, eye-catching costumes. Kara, a newcomer to the Buddhist faith, couldn't understand why the abbot had invited these women, but his senior monk urged him to look closer. These weren't women at all, but rather men dressed to look like women. Therefore, practicing the teachings with them wasn't a violation of the Buddhist vow of celibacy. The monks explained that these men were followers of the joyful Buddha, and it was through intense interaction and exchange that one could grasp the true meaning of the Dharma. At that moment, the abbot spoke up, telling Kara to choose one of the performers to begin his experience. Kara felt confused, as this was not what he had imagined Buddhist teachings to be. The abbot then chose the best of the performers, Kato, for Kara. However, Kara, suspecting something was off, clasped his hands in prayer and tried to remain undisturbed, as he could smell opium on Kato's breath. Kara immediately confronted Kato about his use of opium, but Kato, without saying a word, pinned him down and whispered that there were people outside the nunnery listening in. If they discovered that Kara and Kato hadn't been studying the Dharma together, Kara's fate would be just like Kato's, becoming a performer. The nuns outside, hearing the sounds from within, were satisfied and left. Back in the nunnery, the old nun and her subordinates discussed the events of the night. She planned to use opium to corrupt Kara and then dress him in women's clothing with long hair. After some transformation, he would likely become the top performer. Meanwhile, after a night of exchange, Kara began to understand Kato's background. Kara decided to help him escape and thought about helping Kato join the Buddhist order, believing that the Buddha would forgive all those who had sinned. After the monks left, the performers gathered again to smoke opium. Kara realized that their willingness to serve the monks came from their addiction to opium. Fortunately, Kato wasn't heavily addicted, and he resisted the urge to touch the opium pipe. However, his behavior raised suspicion from the old nun. She approached him and demanded to know what Kara had told him the previous night. When Kato refused to answer, the old nun didn't hesitate. She took out a syringe filled with liquid opium and injected it into Kato's body, believing that Kara would return to see him. Soon enough, Kara came back to the nunnery, but by then, Kato had been reduced to a lifeless shell. He was now just another performer, willing to serve the monks in exchange for opium. Kato didn't want Kara to suffer the same fate, so he clenched a coin in his teeth and died with hatred. After that, Kara became lost and aimless. Even when villagers asked him to pray for the dead, he refused, feeling that he had abandoned the Buddhist path. Kara later gave the coin with the bite marks to the Avengers, who immediately took action. That very night, they launched an attack on the nunnery. Annie used silk thread to easily eliminate the guards outside, while the mysterious man in white used gold leaf to suffocate the nuns inside. He didn't forget to remove his outer robes, revealing a tattoo of the Virgin Mary on his back. His mission was to purify the souls of the sinful. The old nun, realizing things had gone wrong, tried to escape, but just as she thought she had made it, a man dressed in black with a long knife descended from the sky, blocking her path. Without giving her a chance to explain, he threw a dart that struck her in the forehead, ending her life and her sins. In the end, the Avengers easily wiped out the entire nunnery. Kara returned to the world, having left his Buddhist vows behind. He cared for the performers rescued from the nunnery, finding purpose in his actions. It seemed this was the only true reason for him to continue living.